Please help me to reach 1,000 subscribers. I never imagined that one night could completely change everything between us. My name is Clara, I'm 32 years old, and I always thought my marriage with Daniel was strong, unshakable, like the kind of love people write songs about. We had been together for 10 years, married for 6, and I never doubted that he was the kind of man who would stick by me no matter what. I was wrong. So incredibly wrong. It all started on a Friday night. I had planned to meet my old college friends at a small gathering, just casual drinks, laughter, and nostalgia. Daniel had stayed home as usual, because he preferred quiet nights with a book or a movie. I teased him about being boring, about always choosing comfort over fun, but he just smiled, shrugged, and let me go. I thought I had him figured out. I thought I knew every corner of his heart, every rule he lived by. That night, things were different. The gathering turned into an impromptu party. People I hadn't seen in years were there, strangers mingling, music blasting. I laughed a little too loudly, flirted a little too freely, and yes, I had one too many drinks. There was a guy, tall, with dark hair, who had always been charming, who somehow made me feel like the center of attention. A harmless connection, I thought at first. Until the line blurred, until I found myself making choices I never would have considered at home. One thing led to another, and what was supposed to be a harmless night out spiraled into a one-night stand. I told myself it was nothing, that it didn't mean anything, that I loved Daniel, that I would never betray him in my heart. But my actions said otherwise, and that's a truth I couldn't undo. I stayed out later than I had ever stayed before, and every step I took toward my apartment felt heavier than the last. When I finally arrived home, the hallway was dark, silent, and the air was thick with a tension I couldn't yet name. I fumbled for my keys, my hands shaking, not from the alcohol but from the weight of what I had done. As I turned the key and opened the door, I didn't expect what I saw. Daniel was there. Not asleep, not pretending to be out, not waiting passively. He was standing in the living room, the light just enough to cast shadows across his face, his eyes fixed on me with a stillness I had never seen before. I froze. My heart raced. "Daniel," I whispered, almost hoping he wouldn't hear me, almost hoping I could slip by, pretend nothing happened. But he did hear me. He had been waiting. He had been awake. And the look in his eyes told me everything I needed to know before a single word passed his lips. "What time do you call this?" His voice was calm, deceptively calm, the kind of calm that feels heavier than any shouting. "Clara, what have you been doing?" I stammered. I tried to explain, to justify, to make it sound smaller, less catastrophic than it was. I was just out with friends, it got late, I lost track of time, I didn't mean." He raised a hand, stopping me mid-sentence. "It's not about being late," he said, his voice cutting through the air like ice. "It's about trust. It's about respect. And tonight, Clara, you shattered both." A cold wave ran down my spine. I couldn't meet his eyes. I didn't dare. I felt the room shrink around me, every familiar piece of our apartment now alien, every memory tainted with the knowledge of my betrayal. I had been so careless, so arrogant in thinking that one night, one mistake wouldn't matter. But here he was, silent and composed, showing me in the smallest, deadliest way that it mattered more than I could ever comprehend. He didn't yell. He didn't storm. He didn't throw objects or slam doors. He simply looked at me, measured me, and let the silence grow so heavy that it felt like the walls themselves were pressing in. I could hear my own heartbeat, loud and frantic, drowning out the soft hum of the refrigerator, the distant city noise outside, everything but the accusation hanging between us. Finally he spoke again, slower this time, each word deliberate. "I trusted you. I loved you. And you, what did you do? You turned our home into a lie, even if just for tonight. Did you think I wouldn't notice? Did you think the love we built would shield us from choices like this?" Tears pricked at the corners of my eyes. I wanted to say something, anything, that could fix it, soften it, make him forgive me. But no words came. My mouth moved, forming sentences that sounded hollow even to me. "Daniel, it was nothing, Nothing?" he interrupted, his calm voice now laced with a sharp edge. "You think a night with someone else is nothing? You think our years together can be reduced to nothing because it was convenient? Do you even realize what you've done to us?" The weight of his words crushed me. I felt exposed, stripped bare of pretense and excuses. Every joke I had ever made about our relationship, every careless comment, every flirtatious glance toward anyone but him flashed before me. And now, in the quiet of our living room, with the light casting long, harsh shadows, I realized the enormity of my mistake. He didn't shout, didn't make a scene. He just walked toward the window, looking out, silent. I followed him instinctively, desperate for any sign that forgiveness was still possible, any crack in the wall he had built between us. but there was none. He turned slowly, and for a brief moment, I saw something that terrified me more than anger ever could: resolve. "Clara," he said finally, his voice steady but firm, "we need to talk. But not tonight. Tonight, you need to understand the gravity of what you've done. And I need space to see if what we had can survive this." I nodded, though the motion felt meaningless. I sank onto the couch, silent, haunted by the echoes of the choices that led me here. He left the room, leaving me alone with my thoughts, the evidence of my betrayal pressing down like a storm I had no umbrella for. I didn't sleep that night. I didn't move much. I just sat, replaying every moment, every decision, every laugh and touch that now seemed irreparably tainted. And I realized something terrifying. This wasn't just a one-night mistake. It was a rupture in the foundation of everything I believed to be unshakable. The trust one had taken for granted, the love I had assumed was unconditional, was now fragile, exposed, and perhaps broken beyond repair.